I want you to take a deep breath with me, slowly. Feel the weight you carry in your chest, the quiet ache of wanting, of hoping, of chasing after people, approval, recognition, or love that never seems to return fully. The nights when you lay awake, imagining conversations you never had, imagining responses that never came. There is a quiet suffering in this endless pursuit, a silent drain upon your spirit that no one sees, no one applauds, and yet you persist, thinking that the next effort, the next word, the next gesture will finally make them see you, will finally make them care. What if I told you softly that there is a power in letting go? That the moment you stop chasing, the universe begins to rearrange itself in subtle ways, and those who once seemed distant, unattainable, or indifferent may begin to recognize the value you have always carried. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reminded himself that we must not be slaves to desire or to the whims of others. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been, he wrote. The pursuit, the chasing, the endless proving, these are the subtle forms of harm we inflict on ourselves. Notice how when we chase, we give away our power. We make ourselves dependent on the attention, validation, or affection of others. Our inner tranquility becomes conditional. We say to ourselves, consciously or not, I am only enough if they come to me. And in this quiet surrender, we lose sight of the strength we were born with. We forget that our self-respect is not earned from another's gaze, nor is our worth decided by their absence or presence. Seneca once advised that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Chasing others' approval is a kind of craving, a subtle impoverishment of the soul. There is an elegance, a quiet majesty, in learning to stand still while the world moves around you. Imagine a river flowing past a stone. The stone does not chase the water. It does not plead for attention. It stands firm, immovable, and yet the river shapes itself around it, creating pools and eddies, patterns that could not exist without the stone's steadfast presence. So too with your life. Stand in your truth, stand in your independence. When you are no longer chasing, you anchor yourself in your own value, and suddenly, those who once overlooked you begin to notice, not because you changed who they are, but because you changed how you exist. Patience becomes your silent ally. Emotional discipline becomes your shield. You learn to watch your desires with calm curiosity rather than impulsive neediness. You see your own emotions, the longing, the fear of absence, the temptation to plead or push, and you allow them to exist without giving them the power to drive you. Like a gardener who tends quietly to the soil rather than forcing the flowers to bloom, you cultivate your inner strength. And here is the subtle magic. In your stillness, in your refusal to chase, others begin to approach, not because you manipulated them, not because you plotted, but because you demonstrated that your presence is not dependent on their pursuit. In that demonstration, they recognize a truth that the human heart often only sees in reflection. Value is not something you give to others, it is something you carry, radiate, and refuse to surrender. If this video is creating an inner change within you, gently hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment "I will follow this in my life," and share this message with others who may need it. And now, take another deep breath. Let it fill you fully, slow and deliberate. Feel the shift as the tension in your chest softens. There is freedom in self-possession, in the unspoken declaration that you are enough, that you are complete, and that you will not diminish yourself to meet someone else's expectations. Seneca observed that he suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. When we chase, we suffer prematurely, inviting disappointment, longing, and resentment before the natural course of life has even spoken. Consider the quiet dignity in walking away from the need to prove yourself. Consider the courage it takes to embrace solitude without fear, to stand alone without bitterness, to release attachment to outcomes you cannot control. In doing so, you practice the essence of Stoic freedom, the ability to hold your own peace as your highest priority. And in that freedom, a remarkable transformation occurs. People who once seemed elusive may find themselves drawn to your calm presence, not because of strategy, but because authenticity resonates with the human spirit in a way that pretension never can. feel the quiet rhythm of your breath. Let it remind you that life moves in cycles, that there is a natural ebb and flow to all things. The desire to chase, to plead, to seek validation, it is a tide that rises and falls, and just as the tide must eventually recede, so too must your need for external affirmation. To resist this is to fight against nature itself, and yet so many of us do, exhausting ourselves in the effort to make others bend to our expectations. Marcus Aurelius urged himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The pursuit of others' attention is an outside event, the mastery of self, that is your true strength. There is an almost invisible beauty in independence. The courage to walk alone is not loneliness, it is a reclaiming of your time, your energy, your spirit. To stand alone is to affirm that your value is not negotiable. Imagine a candle burning in the darkness. When you chase, you risk flickering, bending your light towards someone else, hoping they will notice. But when you stop, when you simply stand in your flame, unwavering, it becomes impossible to ignore your warmth. That is the quiet power of self-possession. That is when the shift begins. Emotional discipline is the companion to this independence. It is the ability to observe your own heart without being swept away by it. Desire, longing, disappointment, they are natural, yet we do not have to let them dictate our actions. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Each time you resist the urge to chase, each time you let the silence speak instead of the pleading words, you are mastering yourself. You are exercising a strength that is invisible but undeniable. And here is the gentle paradox: when you stop moving toward them, they often begin to move toward you. The ones who once seemed indifferent may notice the quiet firmness in your stance. The ones who turned away may return, not because of a change in their hearts, but because of a change in yours. You are no longer an empty cup seeking to be filled. You are a reservoir, complete in your own fullness, and there is a magnetic energy in completeness. It is a reminder that the universe does not reward desperation, but integrity. It does not notice pleading, but it responds to presence. A person who chases constantly is like a wind that scatters seeds in every direction. They may land somewhere, but often not where they are needed. A person who stands rooted, who cultivates their inner soil, produces fruits in their own time, and those fruits, ripened in patience, cannot be ignored. If this video is creating an inner change within you, gently hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment "I will follow this in my life," and share this message with others who may need it. Pause now and feel the calm that comes from letting go. There is a quiet joy in knowing that you are not defined by who stays or who leaves. The essence of your self-worth is unshaken by absence or rejection. This is the practice of resilience, the ability to remain unshaken, to continue walking in peace even when the world around you stirs with chaos. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every moment you resist the urge to chase, every moment you stand firm in your own value, becomes a step on the path to deeper strength. Think of your own life as a garden. The chasing, the pleading, the constant reach for recognition. It is like attempting to pull flowers from the soil before they are ready. They may break, wilt, or never bloom. But when you cultivate patience, tend to your own growth, nourish your roots and allow life to unfold naturally, the blooms appear effortlessly. Those who once overlooked you may now come to admire the flowers you have nurtured, not because you demanded attention, but because you honored your own growth. Standing still in your own worth is not passive. It is the most courageous action a human can take. To resist the pull of desperation, to refuse to bargain your dignity, to embrace solitude without fear, these are acts of profound power. And in this stance you learn a subtle truth. The chase was never about them. It was always about whether you were willing to stand in your own light without flinching. Take a moment to feel the quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat. Notice how steady it is, how reliable. It has carried you through days of joy, nights of sorrow, and moments when the world seemed to turn against you. Yet in all of that, you persisted, you sought, you gave, you hoped. And now perhaps you are beginning to understand that the greatest gift you can offer the world is not your pursuit, but your presence, fully grounded, fully calm, fully yours. There is a subtle courage in releasing the need to control others, to mold their affections or desires to fit your own. Life, in its deepest wisdom, cannot be commanded. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? You cannot dictate how others feel, whom they love, or how they respond to your presence. But you can dictate how you feel, how you move, and how you allow your own value to be defined. Resilience is born in this acceptance. To remain unshaken when the world offers indifference, to stay composed when the ones you hoped for do not come, is to step into a realm of power few ever truly know. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Each moment of resisting the chase, each time you refrain from lowering your own dignity, is a polish on your character. You are refining your spirit with patience and self-respect, and this refinement is imperceptible to the impatient eyes of the world, but it is undeniable to your own soul. Let us consider the nature of desire and its subtle consequences. When we chase, we are often not chasing the person themselves, but an image of fulfillment, an imagined completion that only they seem to provide. And yet this imagined completion is a mirage, fleeting and unreliable. The true completion resides within. The moment you stop running, stop pleading, stop bending toward their recognition, you reconnect with the source of your own fulfillment. This is the stillness from which power radiates, the calm from which attraction flows naturally. You are no longer seeking fragments from others, you are whole. Imagine a tree in the forest. It does not reach desperately for the sun, yet its leaves are touched by light. It does not plead with the wind, yet its branches sway in harmony. Its roots dig deep, holding firm. Its presence is enough. Those who pass by may admire its strength, may seek shelter under its shade, may find comfort in its quiet majesty, but the tree did not chase, it merely stood, and life responded. So too with your own being. Stand, and let life adjust around you. Stand, and watch how the world begins to reflect the steadiness you cultivate within. If this video is creating an inner change within you, gently hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment "I will follow this in my life," and share this message with others who may need it. Now, take a moment to let that sink in. Feel the power that comes from self-possession, from the refusal to surrender your dignity for someone else's approval. It is not arrogance, it is clarity. It is not coldness, it is presence. There is a serenity in knowing that the ones who truly matter will approach your light willingly, and those who do not deserve to dim it. Courage, then, is not found in confrontation or in loud declaration. True courage is in the silent refusal to compromise your own values. It is in standing alone with grace. It is in knowing that your worth is inherent, unshakable, and independent of external validation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if someone does wrong, it is because of ignorance. Forgive them and continue on your own path. To stop chasing is not to reject others. It is to refuse to let their actions disturb your inner peace. Think now of the quiet strength of water flowing around stones. It does not force its way. It does not argue with the obstacles in its path. It moves with patience, with inevitability, shaping what it touches while remaining fundamentally itself. Your life, your presence, your worth, these are like that water. When you cease the chase, when you let go of the desperate reach for attention or affection, you allow your true nature to flow freely, and in that flow there is a magnetic grace, a subtle pull that invites without demanding, without forcing. Take a deep breath. Let it anchor you in the moment. Feel the weight of the lessons you've absorbed so far, not as burdens, but as gentle reminders of your own power. You have walked through the landscape of your desires, your longing, your restless pursuit, and now you have paused. You have learned that in the stillness, in the refusal to chase, a quiet transformation occurs. Those who once seemed distant may notice. Those who once overlooked you may approach. But this is no longer the goal. It is the reflection of a deeper truth. Your value is yours alone, and it has never been contingent on another's recognition. Resilience, independence, patience, self-respect. These are not abstract virtues. They are lived realities. Each day you practice them, you are strengthening the foundation of your inner life. Each moment, you resist the pull of desperation. Each breath in which you acknowledge your completeness is a quiet triumph. Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Chasing after what cannot define you is wasted time. Standing in your own worth, cultivating your own presence, that is life well lived. Consider the subtle rhythm of human connection. When we chase, we often push away. When we demand, we create resistance. When we grasp, we reveal our dependence. But when we release, when we stand firm in self-possession, a natural flow begins. Others who resonate with our energy are drawn in without force. The heart recognizes authenticity. The spirit senses the light that does not dim in the absence of attention. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In the same way, the best influence is not to pursue, but to exist fully, calmly, authentically. Pause here, feel your breath, let it remind you of your own steady rhythm. In the quiet of your own presence, you are complete. In the calm of your inner life, you are whole. You do not need to chase to prove your worth. You do not need to plead to be seen. You only need to be. And being, in its purest form, is enough. If this video is creating an inner change within you, gently hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment "I will follow this in my life," and share this message with others who may need it. Now reflect on this. The world often measures attention, pursuit, and urgency as success, but true power is the quiet mastery of self. It is the ability to stand firm when others falter, to remain composed when circumstances are chaotic, to cultivate patience when desire tempts you to move impulsively. Seneca taught, "No man was ever wise by chance." Each moment of restraint, each act of inner discipline, each breath taken without the need to chase, is the deliberate cultivation of wisdom. Imagine your life as a calm lake at dawn. The surface is still, reflecting the sky with clarity. Beneath the water, the currents of your inner strength flow silently, shaping the lake's depth, nurturing life unseen. Those who approach the lake do not disturb its calm. They are drawn to it, naturally, effortlessly. So too with your own life. The more you nurture your own depth, the more your presence radiates a subtle authority, a quiet magnetism. Chasing diminishes this, standing in stillness magnifies it. Let this reflection settle into your bones. The courage to stand alone, the discipline to remain calm, the patience to wait without chasing. These are timeless powers, ancient yet eternal, stoic yet profoundly human. When you stop chasing, it is not manipulation, it is liberation. And in this liberation, you give others the chance to approach you freely, and yourself the certainty that your own value is unshakable. Take one final deep breath. Feel the peace it brings. Let it remind you that you are enough. Let it remind you that your worth is inherent, your presence is magnetic, and your life is your own masterpiece. Walk forward with the calm certainty that you are complete, that you are steady, that you are free. And in every step carry this quiet truth. The world responds not to chasing, but to authenticity, not to pleading, but to presence, not to desire, but to dignity. You are the one who holds the power, not in others, but in yourself. And that is, in its deepest sense, everything.